Okay, let's get right to it. So my wife and I watched The Mule. We had a screener for the awards season, and I will say that this film is not, in my mind, an awards caliber film. It was a good movie, but compared to some of Clint Eastwood's other work, like Sully or The Unforgiven, or Gran Torino, this movie's just not on that par. Now, it had an all-star cast. Michael Pena was in it, Clifton Collins, Andy Garcia, Bradley Cooper, Lawrence Fishburne, Allison Eastwood, his daughter, Diane Wiest, Robert Lasardo, which I really like. A friend of mine cast him in a movie called Silencer that he produced and directed, and Robert always brings his A game when he comes to set. All of these actors that are involved in this film are the type of actors that, just like Clint Eastwood's shooting style, 2 takes and you're done. You know, you just, these guys are so professional. They come in, they just knock it out. Clint Eastwood is getting very old at this point in the stage in his career, and a lot of what went on screen felt labored. You know, he plays a 90-year-old horticulturist that has lost everything in his house and where his farm was and everything. He went into foreclosure. He didn't kind of keep up with the times and utilize the internet to sell seeds and do the things that he does. And in the journey of this character of constantly working, he kind of left his family to the side and, you know, didn't even get a chance to walk his daughter down the aisle because he was busy partying with his social network of people that were all horticulturalists, and he was just busy with his work. Now, that being said, the movie made $126 million. It's rated R. It had a $50 million budget, which seems really high for this film. Even though it had an ensemble cast, $50 million just seems like a lot of money to spend on this movie for what it was. It wasn't heavy in special effects or anything like that. You know, the character that he played is a 90-year-old guy who needs money and gets a tip from a friend at his daughter's engagement party that if he wanted to do some driving, because he had a perfect driving record, he could do some driving for this guy. Well, it winds up being drug dealers, and he's running heroin up and down the highway. And because he's an old man in a car, no one thinks to stop him. Obviously, as time goes on, it catches up to him, and spoiler alert, he ends up in jail where he has his own garden and he can do his gardening. Now, from a film perspective, there's 2 scenes in the movie that just kind of pulled me out of the film, which had nothing really to do with Clint Eastwood's character in the film. When you watch his journey, yeah, he was kind of a crappy family man, but I never got the vibe from him that he was like some racist or bigot at all, like his character was in Gran Torino. There was just this weird scene where he comes out of a restaurant and there's bikers lined up, and one of them's messing with a motorcycle, and he goes, "Hey, Sonny, it might be a fuse." And when the character turns and says, "Who you calling Sonny?" it's a woman, and she's obviously a lesbian, very bullish. And, you know, there's this joke about dykes on bikes. And it was all in fun, and it seems like the people who were on the motorcycles, those actresses, it seemed like it was a playful banter. But for me, it just felt like it was out of place. And then there was another scene where his character just stops on the side of the road to help out this family who has a flat tire, and they're a black family, and he stops and he goes, it's something about it's a great day to stop and help out a couple of Negroes change a tire, or something to that effect. And I was just like, what? And the characters say, well, we don't call ourselves that. I mean, obviously recognizing he's a 90-year-old man, and they say we don't refer to ourselves as that. You know, and so there was a little bit of this social thing, but throughout the entire film, there was never an indication that this character was like the Gran Torino character. He was like the life of the party. Everybody loved him. He danced. He had a good time. Nothing screamed bigot or racist. And so to throw in these little scenes with the Negro and scenes with the dykes on bikes felt like it was like a throwback, or like a little thing he was throwing out there, a piece of meat for his right-wing Fox News type viewers, that he's, he aligns with the Republican Party, which is fine. I really don't care about that. But from a character standpoint and from a story standpoint, these two scenes you could have pulled out of the movie and nobody would have missed them. It just didn't make any sense at all to stop the pace of the film to crack a joke about dykes on bikes, or to stop the film to talk to these people and call them Negroes. It just was weird. And it literally pulled me right out of the movie. And I'm so, what the? This has nothing to do with anything. So it just felt like there were crumbs dropped in there for a certain audience. Because maybe they were going to see what they thought was Gran Torino, but it wasn't Gran Torino at all. But again, maybe Clint's at the point in his career where he's just a crotchety old man. And I'd hate to think that that's the case, but it could be. So anyway, that's my thing. I like The Mule. It was a one-off for me. I'm probably not going to watch it again. What did you think of The Mule? Let's talk about it in the comments section. Do you think it deserves an award? I don't think so, but we'll see you on the next one.